What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Lance Storm, and this is Weed News at 420. Today I'm going to introduce you to Honeyman Dan out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He makes Rick Simpson oil-infused honey that helped him take control of his diabetes and lose a whole bunch of weight. If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell will let you know whenever we drop cool new videos. So spark one up and enjoy his story.
I'm Dan Schrack. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm 48 years old. I know how to make something that can potentially cure cancer and heal this country. I got involved in cannabis because I broke my back and I got strung out on Oxycontin. I had 12 screws added to my spine. Roughly, here's my belly button, here's my chest. I'm fused between the 2 points, roughly 10.5 inches or 6 levels. After almost 10 years of being medicated, you know, I mean, honestly, I could have taken a fistful of pills and not many people would have cared. Breaking my back, I'd had a lot of reason to take these pills that they had me on. I'd had 3 major back surgeries and 6 years of downtime, 2 years for each surgery to recover. You know, so I was on a lot of pills. I was up to 80 milligram pills. A friend of mine asked me if I've ever smoked pot before, and you know, I hadn't, because I'd become a skinhead and a white supremacist in my lifetime, and so I was very against marijuana.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Marijuana for me was something that black people and non-white people did. You know, that's how kind of the mentality I was brought up under. So once I broke my back, I needed a way out. My friend came to me and asked me if I had ever smoked pot before, and that started something. I then started growing a little bit of my own. Me and a friend, you know, we had several hundred plants at one time, and was afraid I was going to get busted with them and didn't know what to do. So my wife got on the internet and she found me a recipe for something at the time we knew as Green Dragon. And so it was chop the plants up, shove them in buckets, cover it in alcohol, let it sit, and then cook it down and make this tincture out of it that now is you know, known as Rick Simpson oil, you know, in the community. And I learned to make that out of a necessity. I didn't want to go to jail for having 300 plants, you know, and in the end, that's the best thing I ever learned how to do, because that's what made me walk away from all those pills in the end, you know, because it took everything away. I didn't feel pain, you know. It gave me a peace inside that I'd never felt before. Having Asperger's syndrome, I'm a firecracker, I'm ADD, OCD, I'm every alphabet title you could slap on me, and I've been raised very violently, so I'm prone to violence in life. At one point after I broke my back, I got up to over 330 pounds. Picture. That's me at 330 pounds. In order to lose the weight, they told me they wanted to do surgery because I was morbidly obese and I might die soon. And I politely looked at my doctor and said, you know, fuck you, doc, you didn't help me get fat and I'm not gonna let you help me get skinny. I'd actually been told I was diabetic before one of my back surgeries, and I was also told at that time that the average person, once this happens, it's at least a year before you can get scheduled for surgery again, which to me was heartbreaking because I had psyched myself out for surgery, and you know, so I had actually pulled my diabetes numbers under control and was back in under the knife in under 60 days because I got it together. So I mean, I went from, I believe my diabetes, I'm trying to think of the numbers when I went in the hospital, I believe it was over 600, almost 700. 3 years back, I was still about 250 pounds, you know, and I walk around at 165 now, and that's where the kind of honey comes in, is only in the last 3 years. I met the beekeeper, I got the pollen, I got the honey. I started researching the honey because in the beginning, everyone told me you couldn't eat honey as a diabetic. Well, you can't eat store-bought honey. Real raw honey you can eat though, as long as it's just what Mother Nature brings us back, you know. And then researching that, well, I start, you know, I'm told I could eat honey, but when I get these lighter honeys, I start having, you know, diabetic issues, you know. So my wife does some more research for me to make me look a little smarter, and she tells me that, you know, the lighter the honey, the more sugar content, and the darker the honey, the more minerals and vitamins. So a darker honey kind of offsets for people like me. You know, luckily we sell a really dark honey. Once we got home, you know, I'd been up for a couple of days because I was psyched to go to surgery and they turned me away. So I came home and I passed out, and I woke up and I went for this box of chocolates that I kept. And my candy was missing. And I got up and I started going through the house. And my wife didn't say anything. She just went about her business. And finally I started getting mad and throwing a fit and, you know, cussing and screaming, and 330 pounds of bear rushing through a small house, you know, and finally she's like, "What are you so upset about? What's wrong?" And I said, "Where the fuck's my candy?" And she said, "I put it out in the trash if you wanted it sitting on top." And I went charging out the front door, and as I threw the screen door open, I noticed this little Asian guy going through the trash, and he was happy as hell because he opened this box full of chocolates. And I turned around, I came back in the house and slammed the door, and she goes, "What, aren't you gonna go take him from him?" I'm like, "What, break the old man's heart?" You see the look on his face, he just found a box of fucking chocolates. Sitting nice on top of somebody's trash can, you know, it was perfect. Perfect box of chocolate. And it wasn't just, you know, it was everything bad in there. There was Hershey's and Dove, and it was just a mix of everything bad I could have in there, chocolate and miniature, you know? And I was like, "Well, like, what the hell am I supposed to do?" She's like, "I don't know, but that stuff's killing you. You're not allowed to have it no more." You know, and so I had to learn how to eat food, and I had to learn that, I mean, realistically, I'd become the typical American, and I'd fallen prey to fast food and microwave food and frozen food. And, you know, when they started teaching me what I was eating, I started learning how horrible this stuff really was for me. And, you know, one of the first things I did was I threw my microwave away. And it disgusts me that, you know, pre-1913, marijuana healed over 700 diseases nationwide. And then in 1913, someone named David Rockefeller started Big Pharma Cartel. And that just destroyed society. You know, the beginning of the downfall of America right there. Because, you know, after 1913, man-made chemical poison became medicine, and Mother Nature became an outlaw, and, you know, I can't understand that.
Well, that about wraps up this video with Honeyman Dan. If you have anything you want to say, please leave it in the comment section down below. As usual, I'm Lance Storm. This is Weed News at 420. Stay beautiful, people, and have a wonderful day.